Welcome to the OOV Daily Reflection for Tuesday, December 6th. Today, the Universal Church celebrates the solemnity of St. Nicholas. He was born in the year 280, and he was the only child of rich parents. So when he was selected to become a priest and eventually a bishop of Myrna, which was a busy seaport in modern Turkey, he used his personal wealth to help and support those in need. It was also his example of following Christ in this generous way, along with his personal holiness, that truly inspired the people, that when he died, he was immediately venerated as a saint, and his body was sought at for a place of pilgrimage at the church where he laid. But as most of you also know, St. Nicholas is the saint who inspired the establishment of the Santa Claus tradition in the English-speaking world. Unlike Santa Claus, St. Nicholas would have been generous to all, whether they were naughty or nice. Because St. Nicholas, in imitation of Jesus Christ, strived to help all those who were in need, especially those who were the least among us. And as a result, he became one of the most influential saints in all of Christianity, again, even inspiring Santa Claus. But we should also note that Santa Claus is also the patron saint of children, along with bakers, brides, grooms, pawnbrokers, and travelers. Because of all these ways, he imitated Christ and served all these different groups. The first reading for today's Mass in honor of St. Nicholas comes to us from the 6th chapter of the book of the prophet Isaiah. It reads, "In the year King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord seated on a high and lofty throne with the train of his garment filling the temple. Seraphim were stationed above, each of them having 6 wings. With two they veiled their faces, with 2 they veiled their feet, and with 2 they hovered aloft. Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts, they cried, one to the other. All the earth is filled with his glory. At the sound of that cry, the frame of the door shook, and the house was filled with smoke. Then I said, Woe is me, I am doomed, for I am a man of unclean lips, living among a people of unclean lips. Yet my eyes have seen the King, the Lord of hosts. Then one of the seraphim flew to him, holding an ember which he had taken with tongs from the altar. He touched my mouth with it and said, See, now this has touched your lips. Your wickedness is removed, your sin purged. Then I heard the voice of the Lord saying, Whom shall I send? Whom will go for us? Here I am, I said, send me." This vision of the prophet Isaiah helps us to understand, Isaiah's own calling to follow God's command that he become one of his prophets. As we heard, the prophet wanted to reject or avoid the call because of his unworthiness and personal sinfulness. And he gives the explanation that he is a man of unclean lips, living among a people of unclean lips. But we know this reality does not cause God to revoke his call. God knows his plans. And furthermore, he takes those who are unworthy and makes them worthy. So God acts to make him worthy of this call through that vision of having himself purified. And again, this happened through embers, but we can clearly see the sacrament of reconciliation. And we can also see a life of prayer, where we are purged of our sinfulness, grow in holiness, and can act in accordance with God's will. And this pattern of God calling those who are unworthy or unqualified happens throughout all of salvation history. But he truly calls those who are needed in order to help with his providential plan, and then by his grace makes them worthy and gives them special gifts. And we call these charisms, in order to work to build up the kingdom. So all of us need to recognize this reality in our own lives, that none of us are truly worthy of the call that the Lord places on our life, but the Lord will give us the grace, strength, and courage to fulfill whatever He's asking of us. St. Nicholas and all the saints display this reality throughout their lives. St. Nicholas for himself could have ran away from the priesthood and being a bishop and lived a life of luxury, but he knew that he was called to serve and to be generous, and his example of imitating Christ has inspired not only the creation of Santa Claus, but many people. That again, we don't have to worry about the call. We just have to answer it and be generous with it, and God will do the rest. St. Nicholas and Our Lady of Victory, pray for us.